Everybody survive? A little hot one out there, but very, very excited. Can't say enough about not just what our guys did today, but I think their preparation. You know, when you got a new staff, so many new faces, the way they handle game week, the way they've handled themselves really didn't shock me, but I didn't know until the day got here. I thought there were so many positives going into the game about the way we approached Thursday, Friday, Saturday that was dramatically different than what I'd been told just the preparation in the past. I just can't stress enough. But there's so many games that get out of funk before they ever get started because kids don't handle the moment, and I thought they did that really, really well. Some highlights in the game, I thought, obviously the way we started offensively to take it down the field, have a couple conversions, and to have that turn into a touchdown was huge. Our defense obviously took a while to get settled down, but I thought did a nice job against a very, very good offense. But the point where I knew I had what I thought I had was at the end of the half. Defense came up with a stop, had us back down to the 5-yard line there. Wanted to see if we could get it off with a first down, and then try to. And I knew if we got to the 35, we'd have a shot with Hocker to make a 52-yard field goal or better, and that's how it panned out. Obviously, you got introduced to Hunter Henry there and made a couple nice catches, and then to convert those points at the end of the half, that's really, really big. I mean, I thought we were playing beyond the game there, setting up some things down the road. So got out of it relatively injury-free. Jay Will obviously had an issue there right before the half, but came back and played extremely well. That's kind of the definition of how I like to play games, is that second half to wear it down, get some turnovers. People just don't want to play football for 4 quarters a lot of the time. So I think our kids bought into it. I can't say enough about our coaches, the way they prepped them, and I think that was a very good football team there. I was really going back to last spring when I started watching them on film. I was very impressed. They know how to win games, and you know they were within a touchdown of beating Florida obviously a year ago. So it's a good football team, and I like the way they handled it. So we'll bounce back. Now we get to normal game week and see where we can go.
Coach, something on the right side that you guys saw, it seemed like a predominant amount of the runs were on.
You know, I agree exactly what you're saying. Wasn't anything planned. I think in general we felt good about the matchups on that side. And then obviously as the game plan or as the game wore on, it just we had more and more success to that side until the big bounce or the cutback by Jay Will.
Coach, Jonathan Williams and Alex Collins are really.
Yeah, I've been very excited, and I'm telling you, we want to get 22 in there too. Nate Holmes is a very nice change up to those two guys, but I can't say enough about you know what you guys saw today was what I've been seeing all fall camp. Jay Will, nobody takes it more serious than him. He's a guy that is very, very gifted. He's going to flourish in our type of system. Alex obviously is a guy that can change the game in a single cut. But on the edges there were some guys who were blocking very, very well. I'm telling you, you flow in that film, Travis Swanson is unbelievable in some of those pulls and the plays that he's making. I get very excited about the dynamic of him keep coming along. I think today there was a couple guys that really grew that I'm glad it happened today. You know, Hunter Henry's fumble, my guess is those won't happen very much. He just obviously got his, you know, he's going to grow and you know, I don't think it's fair to justify for a freshman coming and play as many reps as he did either. He was dragging pretty good. We wore him out, and obviously we got to be smart about that. Unbelievable. The one where he made a cutback in bounds. You know, like Kiro, I honestly thought going into today he might be our most productive player, and I think in a certain way he was. You know, critical downs. He made first downs. He made that touchdown all on willpower there. He is a very, very gifted player, and he fits perfectly in our system. I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. I'm so thankful he was injured a year ago because he is going to be an absolute stud for us in our offense.
A lot of 4-2-5 today, and it looked like there was maybe a late depth chart.
Yeah, I think just their number one personnel grouping a year ago was 11, which is 1 tight end, 3 wideouts, ran it almost 85% of the time. So we had prepared all during preparation to run all nickel against that personnel, and then when they went to 12, which is 2 tight ends, 1 back, 2 wide receivers, that's when we switched it into our base package. So.
Was that a late change with Alan Garner over TQ?
No, AT's been doing. We just felt for this game, AT's game was a little bit better. TQ's still going to play a lot of football for us. He'd probably be better if we were playing ourselves. He just likes the physicality of the game, and we'll play against teams like that more.
What's Hawk about 800%?
No, you know, Hawk was going back into last Friday. You know, just felt he wasn't right, so we rested him all this week, and going in today didn't know if he was going to go. You know, and tremendously tough kid. After that third kickoff went out of the back of the end zone, I said, I'd hate to see you when you're healthy, you know, because he is definitely booming the ball. And then one thing Charlie and I have had a good fortune of when we were scoring a lot of points and doing a lot of kicking, you just can't ask those kickers to kick that many times. So that's when we pulled them.
Can you talk about responding to their touchdown, your touchdown?
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I thought a couple great responses with that response in particular, and then the turnover responses. You know, we turn the ball over with Hunters, and then 2 plays later we get the turnover. So we just talk to our kids all the time. No matter on defense, they always say put the ball down, no matter what the situation is. Got to respond. And then I know a critical play for us was after the was that the first or second turnover when we had the big hit with the passing game, and making yards after making points after turnovers is huge.
Brandon Allen. He showed it today. Could you have asked for much more from the quarterback?
No, I thought he was tremendous. I just, you know, I said this the other day, and I mean it. If you want to go to the quarterback store and find the demeanor and personality of what you want, he's got it. He's very, very calm. You know, coaches a lot of times will get volatile, and he just kind of handles the storm. Really hasn't shown me anything but complete composure. Very impressed with his quarterback skills that have nothing to do with throwing the football, if that makes sense. I mean, he's got that demeanor and personality that are I think what makes championship quarterbacks.
Coach, do you remember your first win at Wisconsin, and how does this compare to that?
Well, our first win, my first win in Wisconsin was on the road in Cleveland Brown Stadium. So to do it here at home, we'll work on our post game. I am a detail guy. Probably some other people have other words for it, but I had not addressed post game celebration. They could have told me we went over and sang the fight song. I got to learn fight song better. I got it hanging above my office. I was going to break one out on them too because we've done things in the past with big game celebrations, so we'll get that a little more choreographed.
Brett, your wife told me at halftime that you were a little superstitious about the long sleeves. Did the 97-degree Arkansas heat make you want to...
No, but I did switch. I had the red or the white, and I just went with the white. Figured it'd be a little more cooling effect. But yeah, it was I think a fun day for everybody involved, and hopefully the beginning of many more.
You talked about balance a lot. That sort of.
Yeah, would we have 280 or 90 running the football and 230 passing? I know this. When we really became a great team in the past, teams that I've been around, we've been over 200 running and throwing. And you win a lot of games that way. You win a lot of games if you're balanced like that and you play good defense. You don't give up 3 big hits. You know, probably the greatest teaching lesson for us today was that first touchdown on the wheel route that, you know, was one play where they gained how many ever yards, you know, a 40, 50-yard strike with one play. We won't win many games if you allow that to happen.
What do you think defensive improvement was? You said they started a little slow. What got better?
You know, Bo, I've always thought that with defense, you got to get hit in the head a couple times. You got to get knocked around. You know, got to get used to making the calls, getting them lined up in a hurry. Again, that's a very good offense. I thought they had a nice plan coming in, keeping us off balance with some of the run and play action stuff. I just think defenses, a lot of times, everybody says the defense always has an advantage. I've never believed that. Even as a defensive coordinator, I've always felt if you're a good offense, you just line up and do what you do. You should be able to move the ball and do some things. Defense, I don't care what you say, defensive calls are made off of offensive personnel. Defensive personnel lines up by offensive personnel. The offense dictates the flow of the game. I don't care what type of offense you're running.
Did you ever have to get into the headset today and tell Shane to change something up?
No. No, I called one really good play. I called the fullback belly that got knocked in the head for -1.
What's the report on Rohan?
Rowe, just it wasn't any struggle. He hit knee on knee on that play, and it, you know, I think a bruise was all, but he was pretty good there. We just didn't want to put him back in there.
Was there a game plan when you went in to run the ball until you absolutely had to pass the ball? Just kind of.
Well, that's not the way to say it. I think it's run until they can't let you run, I think that Jim wanted to make a statement. I did say to him in the fourth quarter, I said, you know, you can throw it. I wasn't overly pleased with the 4th and 1 pass. I did say I should have made you run it. But I think as coaches, we're just getting a feel for one another too. I think there was so many critical teaching moments today that you guys never heard, thankfully, because I wouldn't want my mother to hear them either. But they were great moments for us as coaches on the headsets.
You saw Nate Holmes running down Jonathan Williams to make that block.
Yeah, I think we got away with one there. I think his hand was a little bit on the back and let him have a piece of my mind. Because that should have been called back. It was great hustle, love him to death. We were trying to get him the ball there at the late. I think Nate's going to be a great guy, you know, in several situations. But again, I really wanted to see him run the fourth quarter because he can change the game at that point when those other guys are worn down.
What did you think? A couple more guys.
Did what? The discipline. Not happy. 2 are on me. We run a formation where we're covering up the tight end because the tight end can pick his hand up and choose all he wants. But once he's covered, you can't. And those were 2 of those procedural penalties today, and I'll get that straight with my coaches. You know, I think Mitch jumped one time. We had a face mask, but other than that, I was pretty happy with how they handled it. And you know what? we have a little thing in practice where if you have a penalty, you immediately come off the field, and we actually had to coach our guys that when you had a penalty today not to run off because they would have started. They thought the process was status quo. So I was on. What do we have? 5 penalties, I think. 4. That's pretty good.
About running it like you did, though, you set up that long pass.
Yeah.
You talked about what went into set and all that.
Well, I think it is exactly what you said. There's so many people that think, if you run the ball, it can't be an effective passing game. But in my opinion, when you run the ball effectively, you make defenses show their support, so you understand.